Greetings, and peace be unto you. I greet you in truth, balance, and wholeness. Let us arise in power. There's a story about a young man in his 20s. He was on the train with his father. The young man looked out the window and shouted, "Father, look at the trees. They're all walking away from us." The young man's father just smiled. There was also a couple sitting nearby. They looked at the young man's childish comment as if he was crazy. Suddenly, the young man yelled out again with excitement, "Father, look at the clouds. They're all running with us." The couple, being nosy, couldn't resist and said to the boy's father, "Why don't you just take your son to the doctor?" The father smiled and said, "We did, and we are just coming from the hospital. My son had surgery and just got his vision today. You see, my son was once blind from birth, but now he sees." Beloved, can you see what I see today? So much has taken place throughout the world in the past year. So much has taken place in this nation. There have been uneventful developments that have caused some people to frown upon and become discouraged, dismayed, and disillusioned. And yet, there have been other developments that have caused people to be full of joy and jubilation. Over the last year, the world has been affected by the COVID-19 virus. Millions of people afflicted, millions of people dying, millions of people put on lockdowns and restrictions and mandated to keep social distance. Families isolated from one another. Churches and places of worship forced to close their doors and fellowship through phone conference calls, Zoom calls, streaming online by way of internet. Schools have been mandated to shut students out of the school buildings, and parents left with no choice but to stay at home, some even losing their jobs, to be both parents and teachers. The so-called new normal is not normal at all. For many of us, it has become a new nuisance. As a country, there's still social injustice, racial tension, civil unrest, police brutality, disrespectful and unjustified attacks towards the police. There has been attention given to the Black Lives Matter agenda, but black power is still seen as irrelevant and unattainable by many pretenders. Many people scream about systemic racism, racial profiling, and prisons are full of young black men doing time, but no one wants to have a real talk or a real dialogue about how black people are damned by their own black brothers and sisters in their own communities through black on black crimes. There is violence in the streets, but there's still silence in the churches and religious organizations. Gangbangers, drug pushers, prostitutes, and pimps. Communities have more than enough problems and more than enough people to blame. Elected government officials are all in cahoots with each other, politicking the people and playing political games. The transgender debate has taken center stage. The LGBTQ war has been waged. The legal immigrants versus illegal immigrants has caused a national outrage. As a country, healthcare, unemployment, home foreclosures, child abuse, drug abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, crimes, senseless killings, toxic relationships, all continue to be overwhelming. Honest public officials are becoming hard to find. Politicians without integrity and robbing the people blind. The mass media, instead of just giving unbiased news and information, are now choosing sides and forcing people into agenda-based indoctrination. In times like this, we need a leader. In times like this, we need a teacher. Will you answer the call? What is your purpose? What is your assignment? Will you be like the couple, blind to all the possibilities of creativity in this life? Or will you be like the young man, born blind, but now his vision has been restored and he sees the abstract reality that life presents to us all? Until next time, peace and bright moments.